Okay. I totally understand that I am late within my upload schedule by a week, but if you let me do this, I am more than happy to explain my absence and what is going on in today's video. Okay, so let's talk about it. The first thing about the week absence, to put it short, I've been trying to get employed. Ouch! I know. Total backstab. How could I do this? And let's talk about today's video. Welcome back to another How Silent Can We Be run. Today we are in Bangkok, Thailand, and our two main targets are Jordan Cross and Ken Morgan. Jordan Cross being a nepo baby turned rock star who killed a woman, and Ken Morgan being the corporate fixer who basically got him off scot-free because, you know, when you've got enough money, why should laws be relevant, am I right? Because, you know, we had a whole island at one point where people would break laws and break children, more specifically. Oh, you rude
That's right, call for your mama.
Forgiving my momentary outburst, let's get into the remainder of the run. Because we're only, a minute and a half in, and I've already made sure that pig chokes on his own sick. Now, focusing on Jordan Cross, what we have to realise is, due to the mandates I set within this challenge, nearly every map that I do on Master difficulty, which is nowhere in the official rules by the way, I'm just a bit of a masochist, most disguisers don't tend to spawn, making most runs into a silent assassin suit only run. I definitely intend to change a few things for the next few videos. But no, to kill Jordan Cross, we have to do it in three separate parts. There's the prerequisite, there's the invasion, and then there's the finalization. The prerequisites that we need is a lot of distraction items, which I'm going to be sticking to coins. Here's my loadout, by the way, that I used for this mission. And we need a master keycard to actually get some of those distractions. So coming into here, we see that there's two guards and a security camera. This guard right here has a very rudimentary route, if I must say so myself. He literally just goes up and down and up and down and up and down. You get the point. And looking at this camera, you'd think, oh, there's no way we can get past this, right? No, there's a really small blind spot. And you'll even see, as I'm in instinct, the camera does, like, project its laser onto me. But it does not count. it just does not count. So then we sneak past these two women and making sure to take a souvenir, which, you know, a very lovely crowbar, as we'll be using that as a temporary distraction. Now, this room's very simple. Again, we've got a guard with a very basic route. He literally just goes back and forth, pauses for a moment, very similar to the guard in Hokkaido. But no, we wait for him to turn around, and then we are confronted by three people in a laundry room, and I fucking despise every single one of them. Julie, like, see, look at that. They almost nearly spot me nearly every time. It's very situational. But no, I start by throwing a can of Dr. Pepper. Oh, no, Dr. Pep. Copyright. I ended up sneaking up the master key card, and then I simply just need to make my way out. So this guy normally revolves around, so I throw a crowbar just to stun him, to make sure I've got enough time for the guard to turn around, but for them to still be distracted. So you'll see they all get stunned for a second, and then boom, as the guard turns around, I can easily remake my exit. So now I've got a master keycard and currently 5 coins on me, which we can complete this with 5 coins, but why not have more? After successfully sneaking out, I decided it's time for me to actually stick to my cover story of being Tobias Reaper. So the next logical step would obviously be to check in.
Checking in. Name's Tobias Reaper.
Thank you so much, sir. Here's your keycard. Welcome to the Himmapan Hotel.
Right, you can absolutely fuck off because I'm not following you. So I take advantage of the camera angle, obviously, because why else wouldn't I? I've got to maintain a green rating at all times, which I fucking adore. But no, I start to make my way up to quote-unquote my room. Wait, you mean to say this isn't my room? Well, my keycard unlocked it. Oh, that's right, the master keycard that I just stole. well, since I'm here, I may as well, you know, stuff some coins in my pockets just in case. Oh my god. Wow, imagine hooking up with a celebrity and she makes you sleep on the floor, and you do that. I'm gonna get a picture of this guy's arse for later. But no, I then continue to ransack the room, leaving the microphone, of course, and as a final thank you for staying asleep, I decided to wake him up. Because, you know, you're still on the clock. You don't get to sleep on company time. Tut tut tut. But no, now I actually do make my way towards my room to retrieve my micro remote taser. Yep, no time to waste here. So, as we go to exit this door, you'll see that the camera... Oh, there's that guy there. The camera nearly covers, like, every centimetre of the exit, but there is, like, a small grace period that you can just sneak through. And I cannot stress this enough, if you try it yourself, make sure to watch the back of that camera. It can catch you, and if you've done this for multiple attempts like I have, and it's taken you as long as it's taken me, you'll probably not have the best reaction. I don't like this challenge. I'm not the biggest fan of this challenge, I must admit. Editor's note, by the way, that was a completely unedited clip. Like, that wasn't even turned down in, like, post. That is how loud I was. But now, learning from my prior mistakes, I keep a close eye on my back to make sure the back shots are indeed impeccable, as always, when I am the case. And then I sit here and wait for this really, really awkward silence to end, as these two are completely unenthusiastic in terms of working together. Now, these two guards here, yet again, very basic route. They only go up and down and up and down, and when they start to move, I can literally just follow behind them because it's literally nothing, to be honest. Now, what I do love about Hitman, no matter what the difficulty is, the guards seem to be so incompetent that their own pain of existence is insignificant. But anyways, back to the actual run. Now it's time to actually make my way into the building. So I take out one of my 9 coins, which will be enough to impress even Mario at that point, and I chuck it just behind so they both turn around. I can't get much further than that, and it's very lucky that I can. Now the people, like, close to me right there, they don't care. They don't know I'm trespassing until I go in the building. See, everyone's instantly aggroed. And now, this part, I've also not been too happy about, because there is a camera and an NPC, both watching guard. Some nosy fuck is about to discover me because his NPC has the coding equivalent of a fucking brain-dead child. Can I even salvage this? But no, this time I successfully managed to actually make my way through, just with very careful timing. The first part about that is waiting for that guy to enter the room, as it will make the other NPC turn around, and catching that guy off guard. Now I can slip into the room unnoticed and wait for my time to shine, which will be when this guy eventually goes out to the balcony, because I no trust myself or him. Because I could be going out towards the balcony, this guy could turn around, boom, start all over. Because if you haven't noticed, I've not saved yet. So that means all of this for nothing. So my lovely dovely king, Moist Critical, finally goes out to the balcony, and upon his return, I can finally go outside, throw myself off the ledge, but catch myself, and then climb up a drainage pipe. Now this is one thing I find inconsistent in Hitman, especially even on the Dartmoor map. They are not that strong. They are not supporting Agent 47's body weight. I'm sorry. But no, there we go, that is Jordan Cross. And it was at this point I thought my timing was really off, but we'll see how that actually unwraps.
What?
Boom, I am now on the top floor. It definitely took some trial and error to find out how to actually get to this point, but it's it feels a lot easier once you actually make it. Now the thing is, I realised, oh, wait, am I going to have to bait Jordan in? Because, like I said, I thought the timer was messed up. I really could have done when he was walking upstairs for me to be upstairs. So then, in my mind, I was like, right, let him do his other recording session, then that gives me time to just sit and wait. So I started prepping. I start by doing a bit of spring cleaning in Jordan's room by collecting 3 whole cans of Dr. Pep. He seems to be an avid enjoyer. And to be completely fair, the next like few minutes is just me sat there waiting patiently. But I must say, tonight's the night. It was at this point where I realised what door he was walking out of to shoot my shot, as to say. The second I see him go through the minimap, I somehow throw a can of Dr. Pep through the door. Now, not only does it attract Jordan, but also a security guard who seems to be too lazy for his job. And I realised because, you know, master difficulty, he's going to be more attentive. So I close the door, and then I reopen the door. As soon as he comes from behind, I then choose to come from behind. And kapow! Now, one of the hardest things about orchestrating Jordan's death to begin with was how can I make this an accident? I can't do the Mike storyline because I need an outfit, and I can't get that outfit. That is where the remote taser comes into play. Now, the idea of setting the narrative here was Jordan more than likely carries a cell phone on him. And I don't know how good that smartphone may be. So let's say he slipped, banged his head on the floor, which is why there'd be blunt force trauma to the back of his head, and he got electrocuted by the electronics on him. And to be fair, that's the story I'm going to go with. The game counts it as an accident kill, therefore, in my eyes, it meets all the requirements. Like I'm not going to try too hard with it. I do originally try to like not chuck it at his head, but you know what? Why not? Why not? Boom. Fried. Just like his music. It's not very good. And now it's time for the finale of the episode, which is the grand escape. Now it's at this point where I finally choose to save, because I'm like, right, if I save at this point, if I fuck up, the only thing I've got to do is just escape the hotel. That sounds a lot easier than it was. I will admit, due to the fact that one exit I can't use without keys and it's in a restricted area, the other exit I have to repair a truck, which I need an outfit for to not get done while doing it. And the third exit, no keys, but also a restricted area. In fact, it is the same area where those 2 guards and the camera is. So that is absolutely perfect for me. Now, sneaking out of the restricted part of the hotel is as simple as it looks. It's quite literally me using the same distraction techniques that I used prior. And, you know, just obvious, like, common sense, like waiting for this guy to come and go. It wasn't until the point where I actually got back to the, you know, allowed area where problems arose. Because I kept thinking about, because I have gotten this far in multiple attempts. See, like, the kills themselves weren't the issue. Like, I was able to get them down to, like, clockwork, basically. But no, as soon as I get in here, this is where my problems start. So I first off start by, like, grabbing my suitcase. Not because I'm sentimental or I want to take it with me. No. We need this suitcase, specifically. But no, at this point it's pretty much just me taking a very simple route out of the hotel. The same one I used when checking in, just avoiding cameras at all means necessary. Because, you know, if I got this far and cameras caught me, I'd probably have a breakdown. Like, let's admit, there would be a third part to Scream of Agony at this point. But no, I'm making my way through, and as I'm doing this, I'm looking for active ways to, like, cause a panic attack. Like, not on me, cause a panic in general, I mean. Cause a panic for, like, the civilians, so, like, the guards will be a bit distracted, hopefully. And I can't find a non-obvious fire alarm, so that kind of goes, no, fuck you, dude. So, no. I start making my way towards the only available exit, which is wild. For a map like this, you wouldn't expect one of the only available exits to be just so in the way. Because like I said, there's a camera that briefly stays on it, and 2 guards. One guard stands there staring at the exit itself in a restricted area, so no matter what, he's looking there. And then the other guard does, like, a little pacey thingamajig. But no, after some thought and some very calculated decisions, like that one moment in Hokkaido, I decide that the best course of action would to be completely get rid of one of them without knocking them out. So what I do, I threw this briefcase because I really wanted to test what they do. Like, I wanted to see who would be sent to like collect it. And to my luck, it's the guard who moves. Not the guard who sits on his ass and does nothing. No, that guard. But no, originally he just walks up to it and pays it no attention, which I found weird because I'm like, dude, it's a random like container. Would you not want to check that out? And then like clockwork, when he turns around, he eventually goes, oh my god, there's like a suitcase there. I've never seen that suitcase in my life. Matter of fact, I don't even know what a suitcase is. See, moment of realization for both me and him that he's now gonna fuck off. Now, only thing I have to do is get the timing right for the camera, because it does give a grace period where it's not looking there. So first thing I do, I chuck a coin. I drank a beer. And then, obviously, he goes to investigate it. Like, after giving a little monologue, obviously, because, you know, you have to report every suspicious detail. So now, he finally walks over, and I'm like, right, I need him over there longer. So I try to throw another coin, but there's like, for some reason the collision was really weird here. I throw another coin. I use this to sneak under the camera, and look how close I am to him. He should detect me at this point. And then the second that he's turned around fully, I check for the camera, I bolt out of there. Done. Done. But yeah, this is how I completed the How Silent Can We Be challenge in Bangkok. That is my suicide postponed. I did